Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop, and today I'm here to review a movie that came out in limited release this week, and it's also on video on demand, so you can watch it at home for yourself. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be taking a look at the 2017 horror film, The Void. A police deputy finds an injured man on the road and takes him to the emergency room at the hospital that his estranged wife works at. The hospital is having a slow night with only a few patients waiting and a few staff on duty, and it all seems normal. That all changes when one of the nurses is caught killing one of the patients. When the deputy goes out to his car, he's surrounded by figures wearing white robes that come after him with a knife. Forced to go back into the hospital, the deputy and the rest of the crew begin to fend off a number of odd creatures that somehow have invaded the building. So what did I think of The Void? I thought it's an engaging and eerie horror flick. You can tell the movie is inspired and even an homage to the 80s horror films like John Carpenter's The Thing or Hellraiser. If you're a fan of those type of movies, I think you'll also have a bloody good time here. The special effects here are fantastic, and as a throwback to those 80s films, we have a practically made tentacle creatures that lurk the hospital for their next victim. There's also a ton of gore to go around, but for those with weak stomachs, I don't think it will cause you to become too queasy. The film certainly has a creep factor to it between the imposing white-robed cultists stalking the characters in the shadows, or the victims winding their way through the corridors of the hospital after the power has gone out. There's also a fun scene of deformed corpses who have come back to life to face off with the characters. The story has a number of good shocks, twists, and turns to it, where we find out information right along with the characters, and we're not totally sure what's going to happen next, or who might be in on what's going on as the characters begin to go missing. While I could see a couple of things coming a mile away, it was still original enough overall to work. As the film goes on, things get a bit confusing, and I think a certain number of factors could have been better explained here or there. I'm also not too sure I was a big fan on the ending. We'll find out later, I guess. The cast stars Aaron Poole as Daniel Carter, the deputy of the small town who finds himself stuck at the hospital with all of these weird things going on. Kathleen Monroe as Allison, Daniel's ex-wife and nurse at the hospital. Kenneth Walsh as Dr. Richard Powell, the head doctor in charge of the night shift. Evan Stern as James, a drug fiend found by Daniel and brought to the hospital, and Alan Wong as Kim, an intern frightened by all of the strange things going on. The Void is a fun and gruesome horror movie throwback that feels like a breath of fresh air. I'm going to give it the rating of do it. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. You can like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/WestTrueBaylist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAList. Until next time, Troop out.